আসসালামু আলাইকুম নবম এবং দশম শ্রেণীর প্রিয় শিক্ষার্থীরা, আশা করি তোমরা সবাই ভালো আছো। আজকে আমি তোমাদের গত ক্লাসের হোমওয়ার্কের সলিউশন দেব। আমাদের হোমওয়ার্কটি ছিল ইউনিট 11 লেসন 3B রিনিউয়েবল এনার্জি সোর্সেস 3 ওপর। টেক্সটটি আমি তোমাদের একবার পড়ে শোনাচ্ছি। Countries of the world rely heavily on petroleum, coal and natural gas for their energy sources. There are two major types of energy sources, renewable and non-renewable. Hydrocarbon or fossil fuels are non-renewable sources of energy. Reliance on them poses real big problems. First, fossil fuels such as oil, coal, gas, etc. are finite energy resources and the world eventually will run out of them. Secondly, they will become too expensive in the coming decades and too damaging for the environment. Thirdly, fossil fuels have direct polluting impacts on Earth's environment, causing global warming. In contrast, renewable energy sources such as wind and solar energy are constantly and naturally replenished and never run out. Most renewable energy comes either directly or indirectly from the sun. Sunlight or solar energy can be used for heating and lighting homes, for generating electricity, and for other commercial and industrial uses. The sun's heat drives the winds, and this wind energy can be captured with wind turbines to produce electricity. Then the wind and the sun's heat cause water to evaporate. When the water vapor turns into rain or snow and flows downhill into rivers and streams, its energy can be captured as hydroelectric energy. Along with the rain and snow, sunlight causes plants to grow. Plants produce biomass, which again can be turned into fuels such as firewood, alcohol, etc., identified as bioenergy. Scientists have identified hydrogen as another form of renewable energy source. It is the most abundant element in nature, but it doesn't exist separately as a gas. It is always combined with other elements such as with oxygen to make water. Hydrogen separated from another element can be burnt as a fuel to produce electricity. Our Earth's interior contains molten lava which gives off extreme heat. This heat inside the earth produces steam and hot water which can be tapped as geothermal energy to produce electricity for heating homes, etc. Ocean energy comes from several sources. Ocean's force of tide and wave can be used to produce energy. The surface of the ocean gets more heat from the sun than the ocean depths. This temperature difference can be used as energy source too. সোর্স দ্য ইন্টারনেট। এখন আমি তোমাদের এমসিকিউ কোয়েশ্চেন অ্যান্সারগুলো বলবো। আমাদের এর প্রশ্নটি ছিল হোয়াট ইজ লাভা, এর উত্তর হবে মল্টেন স্টোন। উত্তরটি হবে মল্টেন স্টোন। বি নাম্বার, হুইচ অফ দ্য ফলোয়িং স্টেটমেন্টস ইজ ট্রু অ্যাবাউট নন রিনিউয়েবল এনার্জি সোর্সেস। এর সঠিক উত্তরটি হবে 4, নন রিনিউয়েবল এনার্জি সোর্সেস আর নট অনলি ফাইনিট বাট অলসো মোস্ট ডিস্ট্রাকটিভ টু দ্য এনভায়রনমেন্ট। C. The sun is dash many natural energies. উত্তরটি হবে connected with. The sun is connected with many natural energies. D. Which of the following describes the dissimilarity between the renewable energy sources and the non-renewable energy sources? সঠিক উত্তরটি হবে 2. Renewable energy sources are infinite and harmless to the environment, totally unlike the non-renewable energy sources. E number, the surface of ocean gets more heat from the sun. উত্তরটি হবে sun, 2 number. F. What does the expression reliance on them poses real big problem mean? উত্তরটি হবে 3. Dependence on non-renewable energy sources creates truly great problems. G number, what is the main purpose of the author of this passage? সঠিক উত্তরটি হবে 3. To put up the best aspects of using renewable energy sources in contrast with non-renewable energy sources. তোমাদের আমি আরেকবার এমসিকিউর উত্তরগুলো দেখাচ্ছি। এ হবে molten stone, বি হবে 4 non-renewable energy sources are not only finite but also most destructive to the environment, সি হবে 1 connected with, ডি হবে 2 renewable energy sources are infinite and harmless to the environment totally unlike the non-renewable energy sources, ই হবে 2 sun, এফ হবে 3 dependence on non-renewable energy sources creates truly great problems, G হবে 3 to put up the best aspects of using renewable energy sources in contrast with non-renewable energy sources. Answer the following questions. আমাদের প্রথম প্রশ্নটি ছিল what is bioenergy? সম্ভাব্য উত্তর because of hydroelectric energy plants produce biomass which again can be turned into fuels such as firewood, alcohol, etc. identified as bioenergy. B. From your reading of paragraph 1 of the passage, give some idea about renewable energy sources and non-renewable energy sources. সম্ভাব্য উত্তর renewable energy sources are those things which we get from the sun, sea wave, wind, earth, etc. They are not harmful to the environment and they are constantly and naturally replenished and never run out. On the other hand, non-renewable energy sources are expensive, finite and must be finished. At the same time, they are most destructive to the environment. C. Do you support the idea that we should use renewable energies as alternative to fossil fuels in order to save the environment? Why? Why not? Explain in 2-3 sentences. I completely support the idea that we should use renewable energy as alternative to fossil fuels in order to save the environment because owing to excessive use of fossil fuels, the concentration of carbon dioxide has increased greatly and consequently world temperature has risen to a great extent. D. How can solar energy be used? Uttor. Solar energy can be used for heating and lighting homes, for generating electricity and for other commercial and industrial uses. E. Reliance on non-renewable energy poses real big problem. Give example. Because non-renewable energy sources are limited and eventually it will run out. It is too expensive to use, especially fossil fuels have direct polluting impact on Earth's environment and causes global warming. তিন নম্বর আমাদের যে ফিল ইন দ্য গ্যাপ হবে সেটা আমি উত্তর দেখাচ্ছি। আমাদের এর উত্তরটি হবে মেজর, বির উত্তর হবে রেয়ার, সি উত্তর হবে এনভায়রনমেন্ট, ডির উত্তর হবে কনস্ট্যান্ট এবং ইর উত্তর হবে সান। এ মেজর, বি রেয়ার, সি এনভায়রনমেন্ট, ডি কনস্ট্যান্ট এবং ই হলো সান। 4 নাম্বারের প্যাসেজটা আমি আরেকবার তোমাদের প্রশ্ন আছে, এটি একটি আনসিন প্যাসেজ। One of the most well-known satirists in English literature, Jonathan Swift was born on November 30, 1667, 8 months after his father's death. When he was just 3 years old, his mother returned to her relatives in England, leaving him in the care of his uncle. At the age of 14, he was sent to Trinity College. In 1686, he graduated from that college and went to England. 2 years later, he became secretary to Sir William Temple. He was ordained a priest in 1694 when he went back to Ireland, where he served as a clergyman in Kilroot. However, 2 years later, he returned to England. His book Gulliver's Travels appeared in 1726, which was an instant success. The last years of Swift's life were full of sadness. He was mostly ill, and in 1742 he suffered from a stroke and lost the ability to speak. On October 19, 1745, Jonathan Swift died. আমাদের ইনফরমেশন ট্রান্সফারের যে গ্যাপটি তার উত্তরগুলো আমি বলছি। 1 হবে 1667, 2 হবে রিটার্ন টু ইংল্যান্ড, 3 হবে গালিভার্স ট্রাভেলস, 4 হবে 1742 এবং 5 হবে অর্ডেইনড এ প্রিস্ট। 5 number, write a summary of the above passage in your own words. Jonathan Swift was the greatest satirist in English literature. He was born in 1667, 8 months after his father's death. He was educated in Trinity College. His Gulliver's Travels is a masterpiece in English literature. It appeared in 1726 and made him famous overnight. The last years of his life were full of sadness as he was mostly ill. He breathed his last about 3 years after his stroke in 1742. Number, match the parts of sentences given in column A, B and C to write 5 complete sentences. আমি তোমাদের ম্যাচিং উত্তরগুলো বলে দিচ্ছি। A plus 2 plus 3. Bangladesh is afflicted with many problems such as poverty, environment pollution, unemployment, terrorism, violence against women, etc. B plus 3 plus 5. Our government has taken a number of steps against these problems and it has advanced closer to alleviating or removing these problems. C plus 5 plus 1. Government alone cannot remove these problems and so private organizations as well as people from all walks of life must cooperate with the government to root out the evils from the society. D plus 1 plus 2. As part of the process of alleviating and removing these problems, at first we have to educate our people in the truest sense of the term. E plus 4 plus 4. Alongside it, the causes and effects of these problems should be put up through media so that people being aware of these evils can assist the government. তাহলে আমি আবার বলছি A plus 2 plus 3, B plus 3 plus 5, C plus 5 plus 1, D plus 1 plus 2 এবং E plus 4 plus 4. Rearrange. Put the following parts of the story in a right order to write the whole story. Only the corresponding numbers of the sentences need to be written. তো কারেক্ট সিকোয়েন্স যেটা হবে সেটা আমি বলে দিচ্ছি তোমাদের। প্রথমে হবে H, তারপর হবে D, তারপর C, তারপর E, তারপর G, তারপর F, তারপর A এবং শেষে B। আমি আবার বলছি H, D, C, E, G, F, A, B. এই ছিল মেয়েরা তোমাদের গত ক্লাসের হোমওয়ার্কের সলিউশন। এখন আমি তোমাদের নতুন একটি হোমওয়ার্ক দিব যেটি আমাদের ইউনিট 12 লেসন 1 বি মাই রুটস 1। তোমরা টেক্সটটি বই থেকে পড়ে নিবে। আমি তোমাদের টেক্সট একবার পড়ে শোনাচ্ছি। Eid is the main religious festival of the Muslims in Bangladesh. Eid means happiness. Everyone wants to share this happiness with their near and dear ones. So most of the people who are living outside their homes or for different reasons have a strong desire to get back home during the Eid vacation. As a result, there is a mad rush to board buses, trains or launches for going home. This often causes transport accidents that take away many lives. However, this cannot stop people from going home to meet their family, in-laws or friends. What makes people rush for their homes in spite of serious hazards? This is nothing but people's desire to return to the roots. Do human beings have roots like the trees? The answer is yes, but unlike the roots of the trees, they are invisible. They lie in our minds. It's these roots that make a bond between us and family members, in-laws, friends, neighbors, or even between us and the land where we were born and grew up. In that sense, our families, our land of birth, relatives, our culture, traditions, or surroundings are our roots. And wherever we stay, we feel the power of our roots. It's our roots that develop our identity, making us what we are. When we lost that bond, we become rootless. Human beings who do not have any roots are a non-entity. In other words, they do not have any identity. They don't know where they are from and or where they are heading to. This often makes them feel empty and lost. মেরা এখানে আমি তোমাদের এমসিকিউগুলো দেখাচ্ছি। আমাদের প্রথম এমসিকিউ হচ্ছে ঈদ ইজ দ্য মেইন ড্যাশ ফেস্টিভ্যাল অফ দ্য মুসলিমস ইন বাংলাদেশ। ট্র্যাডিশনাল আছে, কালচারাল আছে, রিলিজিয়াস আছে, এগ্রিকালচার আছে। সঠিক যে তথ্যটি হবে সেটি দিয়ে ফিল আপ করবে। বি, উই গেট ইউনাইটেড উইথ আওয়ার রিলেটিভস 1. Owing to our strong invisible bond for financial interest as a traditional rule as a social being. A man has no identity. 1. If he lost his job, if he is devoid of money, if he loses bond with his near and dear ones, if he is not highly educated. D. When do the transport accidents mostly happen? During rainy season, during religious festival, during election period, during Pohela Boishak. E. Which of the following statements is true? Almost all people get back to their roots during Eid festival. Some people attend at home during Eid festival. Only the gents get back home during Eid festival. The ladies are eager to come back home during Eid festival. F. What is the meaning of the word in-laws? Brother, cousin, relative, relatives by marriage. G. The main purpose of the passage is to show the characteristics of rootless people, to show the character of people closely connected to their relatives, to show the scene of the main religious festivals of the Muslims, to show the difference between the rootless people and the people having close connection with their families or relatives. এই ছিল আমাদের এমসিকিউ। তোমাদের এমসিকিউগুলো আমি আরেকবার দেখাচ্ছি। To answer the following questions. A. From your reading of the passage, show the reason of great rush on the occasion of Eid. B. This is the pool of the roots. What does the writer want to mean by this sentence? Explain in 2-3 sentences. C. What are the characteristics of the people having roots? D. Describe the character of the rootless people in 2-3 sentences. E. Do you support the idea that rootless people do not at all contribute to social or national development? Why or why not? Explain in 2-3 sentences. Do you support the idea that rootless people do not at all contribute to social or national development? Why or why not? Explain in 2-3 sentences. আমি প্রশ্নগুলো আরেকবার দেখাচ্ছি। 3 নাম্বার fill in the gaps আমাদের সেম টেক্সটের উপরই। টেক্সটে তোমরা একবার ভালোভাবে পড়ে নিবে। fill in the gap গুলো দেখাচ্ছি। The main festival of the Muslims is Eid. All the Muslims dash their joy and happiness with their nearest relatives. Almost all the Muslims want to dash home and it causes heavy dash, but it cannot stop them to meet their family. It is called dash of the roots. The rootless people are dash. এবার আমরা 4 নাম্বার প্রশ্নটা যেটা হচ্ছে read the following text carefully and answer the questions no 4 and 5. আমি টেক্সটটি তোমাদের পড়ে শোনাচ্ছি। Bangladesh is now an independent country. It achieved independence in 1971 after passing a long way of struggle. Before 1947, the country had been a part of the Indian subcontinent under the British rule and had been suffering extremely, being deprived of many advantages of life. Through a lot of struggle and movement, the subcontinent got rid of British exploitation. At the time of their departure, it was divided into two parts, India and Pakistan, and we, in name of East Pakistan, came under the dominion of West Pakistan. But it was a matter of great regret that our suffering and exploitation did not diminish under the Pakistani rule. Rather, it was increasing gradually. In the face of our protest and struggle, they were taking up new devices of exploitation. As a part of their intrigue against us, they wanted to impose Urdu upon us as a state language. However, through our united movement in 1952, we defended our mother tongue. This event inflamed in us the desire of being independent. With this end in view, people of West Pakistan began to be united against them and rose in mass movement in 1969, and ultimately we achieved our long-cherished independence in 1971 through a bloody war of 9 months. টেক্সটে আমি তোমাদের আরেকবার দেখাচ্ছি। আমাদের ইনফরমেশন ট্রান্সফার দেখা যাচ্ছে এখানে আছে 1 নাম্বারটি টাইমস এবং ডেজের ঘরে, 2 নাম্বার ইভেন্টের ঘরে, 3 নাম্বারটা টাইমস অর ডেজের ঘরে, 4 নাম্বার আমরা পাচ্ছি ইভেন্টের ঘরে এবং 5 নাম্বারও পাচ্ছি আমরা টাইমস অর ইভেন্ট ডেজের ঘরে। তোমরা টেক্সটটি পড়ে নিয়ে তথ্যগুলো যথোপযুক্ত জায়গাতে বসিয়ে ফিল আপ করবে। 5 নাম্বার write a summary of the above passage in your own words. 6 নাম্বার match the parts of sentences given in column A, B and C to write 5 complete sentences. Column A, on a hot summer. B, the man rode. C, at midday the rider. D, the owner pushed him away. E, while there were. Column B তে আছে got down to cool fully. on the excuse that he 2-তে আছে 3-তে day a man hired an ass for quarreling over the possession the ass while column C-তে আছে to get refreshment for a while 2 the owner worked behind him 3 through hard labor and a good price of having a journey 4 number had not rented him the shadow 5 number of the shadow the ass ran away সাত নাম্বার রিয়ারেঞ্জটি তোমাদের প্রশ্ন আছে A. He said to himself, 1000 rupees is a lot of money. B. He could not think where to keep the money. C. A rich man went to the farmer with 1000 rupees in a bag. D. He always thought that his money could be stolen anytime. E. He said to him, look my friend, I have got 1000 rupees for you. F. Keep this money and remove your distress. G. The farmer was surprised. H. He took the bag of money from the rich man and thanked. মেয়েরা আশা করি তোমরা হোমওয়ার্কটি করে ফেলতে পারবে আমি আমার পরবর্তী ক্লাসে তোমাদের হোমওয়ার্কটি আবার সলিউশন দেব তো তোমাদের সুস্বাস্থ্য কামনা করে আমি আজকের মতো শেষ করছি সবাইকে ধন্যবাদ আসসালামু আলাইকুম